All right, welcome back to 30 Days to Sell Cars. You are on day 26, and we're switching gears today from implementation to fine-tuning.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
Think about it like this.
Yeah.
Like high-performance race cars.
Yeah.
Right? They don't just come off the assembly line ready to win.
Right.
It's all about those tweaks and those checks before you hit the track.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's exactly what we're doing today with your sales systems.
Exactly.
Making sure that everything's running smoothly primed for peak performance.
Yeah, and just like those race cars, we need to make sure every component is working
Oh, yeah.
in sync.
Yeah.
We've spent the last few weeks building out those campaigns, setting up your automations, integrating your systems.
Yep.
Now we're going to go under the hood.
Okay.
We're going to validate that everything is working together to drive those sales.
Love it. So our first pit stop is going to be campaign performance.
Yes.
So we're not just glancing at the speedometer here.
Right.
We're talking deep dive into those metrics that matter.
Exactly. And, remember earlier in this program, we were talking about aiming for at least a 10% conversion rate on your landing pages.
Yes.
Well, this is where the rubber meets the road.
Okay.
We're pulling up those analytics and seeing which pages are hitting that mark, and more importantly, why. Are those high-performing pages using stronger calls to action?
Right.
Is the design more engaging? We're looking for those patterns and insights.
And what about those campaigns that are stalling out?
Yeah.
Maybe they're not getting the clicks or the leads aren't converting as expected.
Absolutely.
We need to diagnose the issue.
Yep.
Is it the targeting? Is the messaging just off?
This isn't about pointing fingers, though.
Right.
It's about pinpointing those weak spots and turning them into opportunities for optimization.
Yeah.
Think of it as a pit crew swarming the car, making those adjustments in real time to get it back on track.
I love it. So to help with this, we actually have a worksheet. It's
Yeah.
called the Campaign Performance Analysis, and you can find that in the Tools Needed section.
Exactly. It'll walk you through analyzing key metrics and brainstorming those improvements.
Perfect. And you can find the Tools Needed folder attached to this deep dive.
Right.
All right, so let's move on to our next pit stop.
Okay.
Those automation tools we've been setting up. Things like the AI text agents.
Right.
Those virtual assistants who are really changing the game in customer interaction.
Yeah. AI text agents are like having another member of your sales team.
Totally.
Available 24/7 to chat with leads,
Yeah.
answer questions,
Mm-hmm.
and even schedule appointments.
It's amazing, but even the most sophisticated AI needs a checkup now and then, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because the last thing we want is our AI sending out the wrong message or missing a crucial lead.
Exactly. We need to validate those triggers and actions. For
Yeah.
example, let's say a lead fills out a form on your website expressing interest in a specific model.
Okay.
The trigger is the form submission. The action is the AI sending a personalized message about that model.
Right.
And ideally, this all integrates seamlessly with your CRM.
Okay. And to make sure everything's firing on all cylinders, we need to test those automations.
Yeah.
You don't want to discover a glitch during a live interaction.
Oh, absolutely not.
And to help with this, you can use the Automation Audit Checklist, which is also in your Tools Needed folder.
Yeah, that checklist is going to help you walk through each step of your automations, ensuring that everything's working as intended.
Perfect.
Remember, a well-maintained automation system is a powerful tool for nurturing leads and freeing up your sales team to focus on closing deals.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So speaking of things working together seamlessly, let's talk about the flow of information between your systems. You've got your CRM, your ad platforms, your inventory management system,
Yeah.
all these pieces of the puzzle that need to talk to each other.
Right, because a disjointed system is like a car with a flat tire.
Oh, yeah.
It might get you where you're going, but it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Exactly. And those bumps can translate into missed opportunities. Imagine a customer comes in to test drive a car that they saw online, but the information hasn't synced properly and the car isn't prepped or even on the lot.
Oh, that's the worst.
Talk about a frustrating experience for everyone involved.
Yeah, definitely not the impression we want to make.
Not at all.
So how do we ensure that our systems are firing on all cylinders, so to speak?
First, we need to identify those potential points of friction.
Okay.
Are there any delays in data transfer between systems? Are there discrepancies in information?
Yeah.
And to help with this, you can use the System Integration Troubleshooting Guide.
Okay.
That's in your Tools Needed folder.
Got it.
And it provides a step-by-step process for identifying and addressing these issues.
So we're essentially performing a diagnostic check on our digital infrastructure.
Exactly.
And just like with a car, sometimes a simple tune-up can make a world of difference.
Absolutely. It might be something as simple as adjusting a setting or updating a plugin,
Right.
but sometimes we need to bring in the experts, like our tech team,
Yeah.
to help us optimize those integrations and get everything running smoothly.
Now, while we're talking about optimization, there's one crucial element we can't overlook,
Yeah.
the human factor.
Oh, of course.
We've been focusing on the tech, but what about the people who are using these systems every single day?
Right.
Our sales team.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
The technology is there to support and empower our team, not to replace them.
Right.
And to do that effectively, we need their feedback.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones on the front lines experiencing firsthand the strengths and weaknesses of our systems.
So we're not just guessing what's working and what's not.
No.
We're going straight to the source.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
remember, those team feedback forms we included in your tools needed,
Yeah.
this is where they come in.
Oh.
These forms are designed to elicit specific feedback on workflows, tools, and processes.
So we're talking about targeted questions like,
Mm.
what's the biggest bottleneck in your current sales process?
Exactly.
Or which automation tool has been the most helpful and why?
Yes. These insights are pure gold when it comes to fine-tuning our systems.
And don't underestimate the power of those open-ended questions, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes the most valuable feedback comes from those unexpected observations.
Yeah. For example, one of the questions we ask is, what's one thing we could change that would make a significant difference in your day-to-day work?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
It really encourages the team to think critically and offer solutions, not just complaints.
Right.
And once we've gathered all this valuable feedback, it's time to put it to work.
Exactly. We move from observation to action.
Okay.
And to help you stay organized and on track, we have those issue tracking templates in your tools needed.
So think of these templates as your sister improvement playbook.
Yeah.
You can log each issue, assign responsibility, set deadlines, and track progress. It's all about creating a clear roadmap for turning that feedback into action.
And remember, prioritization is key.
Yeah.
Some issues might require immediate attention,
Right.
while others can be addressed in the next cycle. It's about finding that balance between putting out fires and making strategic long-term improvements.
Got it.
Now, all this talk about fine-tuning and optimization, might make it seem like we're striving for perfection.
Right.
But in reality,
Yeah.
it's an ongoing process.
For sure.
An endless loop of refinement.
Right, because the automotive landscape is constantly evolving.
Yes,
So we need to be adaptable,
absolutely.
constantly tweaking and adjusting our approach.
Exactly. Think of those race car drivers
Okay.
who are constantly analyzing their performance, looking for those fractions of a second that they can shave off their lap times.
Yeah.
We need to adopt that same mindset of continuous improvement in our dealerships.
So we're not just setting it and forgetting it.
Right.
We're constantly monitoring, analyzing, and adapting.
Exactly.
Okay, so where does all this data we've been collecting fit into this?
That's where the real magic happens.
Okay.
Data is the fuel that powers our optimization engine.
Okay.
It gives us the insights we need to make informed decisions.
So we're not just drowning in spreadsheets and dashboards.
Right.
We're actually extracting actionable insights from that data.
Precisely. For example, let's say you're noticing a drop in online appointment scheduling.
Okay.
By digging into the data, you might discover that mobile users are having trouble navigating the scheduling tool on your website. Armed with that knowledge, you can prioritize making that tool more mobile-friendly,
Right.
potentially unlocking a whole new segment of customers who prefer to book appointments on the go.
That's a great point, and that's just one example.
Yeah.
Data can help you identify your most effective advertising channels, personalize your customer communications, and even forecast future sales trends.
Absolutely. It's like having a GPS that guides you toward optimal performance.
I love it.
But here's the key.
Okay.
Data is only as valuable as our ability to interpret it.
Right.
We need to develop those analytical skills, learn how to spot patterns, and extract those golden nuggets of insight.
And there are tons of resources out there to help us level up our data game. From online courses to industry conferences.
For sure.
And don't forget about the power of networking.
Absolutely.
Sharing those best practices with other dealerships.
Collaboration is key. We can learn from each other's successes and failures.
Definitely. Now, before we get too carried away with data,
Yeah.
it's important to remember that it's just one piece to the puzzle.
Right.
We can't let data replace our intuition, our creativity, and that human connection we build with our customers.
At the end of the day, this business is about people.
Yeah.
We're using data to enhance those human interactions, not to eliminate them.
So as you continue on this journey of fine-tuning your dealership.
Yes.
Keep that human element at the forefront.
Remember,
Yeah.
listen to your team, engage with your customers, and trust your instincts.
Mm.
You're the expert on your market and your customers.
Well said. As we wrap up day 26 of 30 days to sell cars,
Okay.
I want to leave you with this. Don't be afraid to experiment. Tweak those systems, try new approaches, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
I love it.
The automotive industry is a dynamic, ever-changing landscape.
Yes.
And those who thrive are the ones who embrace innovation and continuous improvement.
Couldn't agree more.
So keep fine-tuning those machines, and let's make this next sales cycle the best one yet.
Until next time, keep those engines running smoothly.